Our cute little Klee is finally back, everyone, since today is the release of patch 3.8 banners together with her super cute new outfit that matches with 3.8 event. Now, whether or not you have been able to put for Klee or you already have your Klee on your account, today I kind of want to give Klee a bit of love and make some updated team builds around Klee. Because of course, last time I had a video on her was like a year ago from the time she had her rerun. And since then, there was a lot of new character release, especially Dendro reactions, which is something that is really suitable for her. Now, talking about characters pooling, guys, in collaboration with Paimon's Bargain, we're doing a huge giveaway right now since patch 3.8 has just dropped. So if you are new to the channel, guys, don't forget to subscribe and join my Discord server as the giveaway is being held and it's a pretty good chance for you to grab a lot of Primo Gems saving for your next character pool. And so with that out of the way, let's just dive into the video. Now, before we hop into the team builds, there are some important points that I want to touch on regarding Klee before you actually go ahead and build her teams. Is that first off, I just kind of have to be honest about Klee in our current meta, because right now Klee is pretty much a character that is only used on preference. If you like and love Klee, you'll be using her. Otherwise, it is rather hard to have her on the team that she can perform well and try to clear, like, you know, some of the toughest abyss in the current patch 3.8 abysses. But other than that, if you're playing around with Klee, normally running around in the open world and stuff, then she is still very adorable and we can just have her on and play around with her in the team. She still can be very fun. Since she is still a pyro character and since pyro elements have access to a lot of different reactions, it is very comfortable to find different team comps for Klee to play around with. Furthermore, she can still make use of elemental reaction to buff her damage by a lot, and also she has that unique ability of, you know, stun locking and juggling your enemies. Her charge attack have access to that, which is actually pretty rare among characters nowadays. The build is pretty free to play friendly. We do have access to a lot of different, you know, free to play catalyst weapon up until now, because many of the events have given us free weapons for Klee, so you can just use that within your gameplay. Now, in terms of Klee's weakness, she actually have more weakness than her strength at this point. Now, one of the biggest one is that Klee is in so much competition right now being a pyro character, since pyro elements is some of the most competitive elements, with having a lot of character that is really good for pyro at this time. Furthermore, she is one of, if not the hardest character to play and master in Genshin Impact at this point, because she can be very clunky and you're almost always gonna have to learn her animation cancel in order for Klee to perform at her maximum potential. And especially when you're on mobile or if you haven't practiced Klee, her animation combo can feel very slow. And talking about animations, she does feels like a melee character. Unlike many other catalysts where they have pretty long range, Klee bomb throwing range is just like, you know, the range of a sword from your sword character attacking the enemy. So you basically have to stand next to your enemies in order for Klee to deal damage. She is pretty squishy and can get knocked back quite a lot, so, you know, a shield is usually recommended. So those are some of the main point you want to remember about when playing around Klee. Again, she is a preference character, so if you've already liked her and want to play her anyway, you don't really need to care too much about this, because at the end of the day, Klee is still Klee and she can still be able to help you clear content if you want to use her. And so with that, guys, let us have a look at some of the updated teams for Klee. First team, we have Klee, Nahida, Yelan and Bennett. This is basically one of the most updated team for Klee, utilizing Bersian reaction for the team. Now, of course, the most important character on the team is going to be Nahida, because it's going to be the character that enables Dendro reactions. Not to mention Nahida innate ability of giving out EM, which is so beneficial on specific lists. So at the end of the day, Nahida is still Nahida. She is a very powerful teammate as usual, helping Klee to have a very viable teammate to play with. And there's next is going to be Yelan. And if you don't have Yelan, you can use Xingqiu in Yelan's place. But Yelan here is going to be a character character that's specifically focusing on giving Klee a lot more attack power because she does have ability to buff your attack. Plus her burst ability to apply Hydro similar to Xingqiu will allow your team to trigger Bursion and sometimes Klee to do Vaporize. And then of course we have Bennett, one of the most important character in most of the team, where he heals and buff attack insanely well for your character, especially if you do have a C6 Bennett guys. He's going to be giving a little bit more buff to Klee because there's going to be pyro damage bonus coming from a C6 Bennett. So for this team, how the rotation will generally go is first you do Nahida EQ to Benny's EQ to Yelan's EQ and then to Klee EQ doing her normal and charge attack. Second team we have Klee, Xiangling, Bennett and Kazuya, the most infamous mono pyro team for Klee, and it's still one of the best team that we can use for her, since apart from you not being able to clear pyro shield or pyro lector, this team will be able to clear literally every other content. We have Bennett here as our usual healer and attack buffer for the team. There's gonna be Xiangling, our most powerful pyro character, and on top of that Xiangling will also get buff from Bennett, and finally Kazuya here to buff an insane amount of elemental damage bonus or pyro damage for the team while having the ability to crowd control from Klee's mind together plus smaller enemies to make use of all of that. Pretty interesting team to play around with guys, and also very easy to build. Hopefully you already have Kazuya on your account because he is one of the most powerful character you can have right now. As for team rotation, you first start off with Klee's E, to Kazuya's EQ, to Bennett's EQ, to Xiangling's EQ, and then to Klee being on field. Third team we have Klee, Ganyu, Kazuya and Diona. This is basically going to be a melt team for Klee. Ganyu with her burst ice field is almost going to be consistently helping you to apply cryo elements on your enemies. Plus Ganyu is still Ganyu, her burst is still going to be able to help you deal a lot of damage. Kazuya here in his usual role, and Diona here with an interesting role on the team. First of all, it's going to be a healer and also a very good shielder for Klee. Not to mention she has the ability to hold on to the elegy, which is going to be giving a lot of buff towards your team. Other than that, if you want to have a sack bow onto her, she's going to be giving your team a lot of energy regen, something very important on this specific team because everyone on the team wants to use their burst as soon as possible. And not to mention, if you do have a C6 Diona guys, she has the ability to buff your EM, which is very important team. For this specific team rotation, we first start off with Ganyu's EQ, to Kazuya's EQ, to Diona's EQ, and then to Klee being on field. Next team we have Klee, Xingqiu, Albedo, and Zhongli. This team we're going to be utilizing Geo Resonance, which is something we haven't been seeing across, many of the team in this recent time, but Klee here is going to be able to make use of this really well. First of all, since Zhongli and Geo Resonance will be able to help, Klee has a decent shield to help her with knockback. But Zhongli is one of the best supports in the game as well, where he gives a lot of buff and defense resistant shred to the team as well as tenacity. Albedo here will be helping you a lot of off-field damage. He's still a very decent off-field damage helping to the team, especially guys, he has the ability to buff your EM. So since Klee here is going to be focused on vaporized damage, that is going to be decently helpful as well. And then Xingqiu, of course, he's going to be helping a bit with healing and with a lot of hydro application. Might be a bit of a hard team to build because I know that not many of us actually have Albedo and Zhongli to be both on your account, but if you do, then this can be a decent team to have you play around with. For the team rotation, you can first start off with Zhongli's EQ, to Albedo's EQ, to Xingqiu's EQ, and then to finally Klee being on the field. And then next we have Klee, Yelan, Kazuya, and Bennett, a very basic team in terms of vaporized damage for Klee, but very efficient at this point in time as well. A team that focus everything in terms of buffing Klee's attacking power, because of course Yelan here with her burst unique ability as well as attack buffing together with Bennett, and then Kazuya finally buffing a ton of pyro damage with a lot of crowd control, just make it quite easy for Klee to be functioning properly in this team. Quite a comfortable team to play around with guys. Again, if you don't have Yelan, then of course Xingqiu can be a replacement, but you'll be seeing quite higher numbers with having Yelan on the team. For team rotation, you first start off with Yelan's EQ, to to Kazuya's EQ, to Bennett's EQ, and then to finally Klee being on field. And so I believe that Klee do have a number of other field options that you can run around with her team build too, but with this 5 team I've been testing out, it feels the most comfortable when you want to use Klee on the team with. And so hopefully these 5 teams have been able to refresh your mind in terms of team building for Klee, and together with her new outfit, you'll be able to enjoy Klee gameplay a lot more. If you do have any other suggestions, guys, do leave it down in the comment below, as I love to always have a look at different team builds. I hope that the video have been enjoyable for you. Now, if you're planning to pull for patch 3.8 yet you're still on the fence, and I do have a very in-depth video going through that, and I'm sure it's going to be very helpful for you. Again, if you are new to the channel, guys, don't forget to subscribe, as we are currently holding a huge giveaway on the channel, and it's a very good chance for you to win a lot of Primo Gems. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me till this part of the video as usual, and with that, I wish you a super day, and I'll catch you on my next video.